Avoid these mistakes when choosing a financial advisor. The whole financial world can feel pretty overwhelming. You've got complicated products, confusing credentials, and advisors who speak in jargon or make vague promises. But great wealth advisors do exist. And when you find one, they can change your entire financial trajectory. Not just by helping you grow your money, but by helping you feel calm, clear, and confident about your future. Today, we're going to talk about why choosing the right wealth advisor could be the most important financial decision you'll ever make. And more importantly, I'll show you exactly what to look for and questions to ask so you can confidently choose someone who puts you, your family, and your future at the center of your plan. Hi, I'm Justin Kuntz, Managing Director of Pacific Wealth Management, helping you make good financial decisions through sound management for a secure future. Let's talk about what makes a great advisor, starting with the qualities that matter most. A big misconception is that a financial advisor is just someone who just manages your investments. But the truth is, a great advisor is much more than that. They're a strategist, a planner, and a person you can trust. Here are a few things to look for that separate great advisors from the rest. First, a holistic understanding. They should look at your entire financial picture, not just your portfolio, but also your income, tax situation, estate plan, insurance needs, and your goals. Second, deep personalization. They should take time to understand what really matters to you. Not just your appetite for risk, but also your priorities, your fears, and your values. Third, proactive planning. The best advisors help you prepare for things that you haven't even thought of yet, like how to manage your RSUs or how inflation could affect your lifestyle not only next year, but 10 years from now. Everything is related, so when you talk to your advisor, they should provide you with answers that connect all the dots. Now let's talk about how to tell if your advisor is truly qualified to guide you. Not all financial professionals are created equal, and one credential that stands out is the Certified Financial Planner Certification, or CFP. And here's why it matters. First, education. To become a CFP, an advisor has to pass a highly technical exam that covers all the core areas of financial planning, including retirement strategies, investment management, estate planning, tax law, and risk protection. Second, experience. CFPs are required to log thousands of hours of professional experience before they can even use the designation. This means that they'll have handled plenty of real-world scenarios, not just textbook examples or something they've read in their exam. Third, fiduciary duty. A CFP is legally required to put your best interests first, regardless of whether or not it benefits them. While this may sound obvious, the reality is that not all financial advisors have a fiduciary duty. Many operate under what's called a suitability standard, which means they can recommend something that's technically okay for you, but not necessarily what's best. So it's really important that you make sure that your advisor is a fiduciary. Fourth, continuing education. In order to keep our certification, CFPs are required to complete ongoing courses. This means that we're constantly staying up to date with new tax laws, investment tools, planning strategies that will ultimately go towards improving your plan. Next, let's break down how advisors make their money, because this can tell you a lot about their motivations. There are 3 common ways that advisors get paid. The first is through commissions. This means that they earn money by selling you financial products, like life insurance or annuities. As you can imagine, this structure easily creates a conflict of interest, since what helps their top line might not necessarily be what's best for you in your future. The second is by charging flat fees or hourly rates. These are more transparent, which is a step in the right direction. But there's no incentive to actually grow your assets. An advisor is going to make the same amount regardless of how your portfolio performs or whether or not your financial plan is actually executed upon. The third is by charging a fee based on the assets under management. In this case, the advisor earns a percentage of the assets they manage for you. If your portfolio grows, they earn more. But if it declines, their income is directly impacted. It ensures that their success is aligned with yours. More or less puts us on the same side of the table as our clients. Now let's look at who your advisor really works for. Typically, an advisor either works for an institution or an independent firm. In the first case, working under the umbrella of a large institution can sometimes limit what they're allowed to recommend, since they might have a sales quota, an internal product list, or incentives to push certain investments over others. On the other hand, you have advisors who operate independently, what's known as registered investment advisors, or RIAs. In this case, the fact that they're not tied to any larger institution means that they can scan the entire marketplace and make recommendations based upon independent analysis that's not muddied by any sales directive. And now, maybe the most important point of all. When you choose an advisor, you're not just hiring a service, you're hiring and starting a relationship. A great advisor is someone who guides you through major life changes, whether that's buying a home, retiring, sending a kid to college, or caring for your aging parents. This should be someone who adapts to your life as it evolves, and it should be a relationship that you want to pass on to future generations many years from now. Let's wrap this up with a few key takeaways. First, look for an advisor who takes a holistic approach, someone who sees your financial life in full, not just your investments. Second, prioritize the CFP designation. It's a mark of real experience and accountability. Third, confirm fiduciary duty. Your advisor should always be working within your best interest. Fourth, understand how they get paid. Make sure that their incentives align with your success. Fifth, ask about independence. You want advice that's based on research, not a sales quota. And finally, remember that this is about more than just money. The right advisors should give you clarity, confidence, and peace of mind. They're here to help you create a plan that supports the life that you want to live. So don't rush the process. Ask thoughtful questions, expect honest answers, and choose someone who you feel you can trust. I'm Justin Kuntz, Managing Director of Pacific Wealth Management, and if you're interested in seeing how we help our clients at Pacific Wealth get the most out of their money, be sure to visit us at www.pacwealth.com. Thanks.